by Brandy Pet.
Welcome, everybody. It's me, Brandy P, with the Yes I Am the Veteran podcast, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host from the Sentinel Collective, Miss Amelia Peacock, and the 6-time Emmy Award-winning filmmaker and slash badass herself, Pacifica.
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here.
I'm here. You know, like those days of all you feel like your job is like VA appointments. I feel like that was today for me.
You and me both, Brandy. You and me both.
You get it. And so it was nice to see you last weekend, Amelia, when we got to go to Bus and Q barbecue and got Dino-ritos. I'm pretty sure Dexter is more excited about that than me. I'm pretty sure.
I have a minute. He was munching on that bone. He loved the bone. He was in his kennel just guarding it and making sure nobody got it except for him.
So it's this giant burrito that like it's so big that like it looks like there's a dinosaur bone sticking out with the one side. So
I still need to send you. I will totally send you your video of the bone coming out. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Oh my word.
No. Yeah, it was definitely it's a whole like process. And then like I sit next to this lovely like vegetarian and I'm like, hold the plate. I'm like trying to pull it out and I'm like making her complicit in my, carnivore crimes. So bad. Poor Mandy.
Don't feel bad. Really she was sitting there with the meat, so she was already complicit.
That's fair. Does smell count as cheating? I don't think so.
Oh, that is hilarious. No, it does not. If that were the case.
It's in the air.
There you
go. The fat particles, the meats, the spices are in the air. So she was breathing it in and it was lying in her mouth but she was swallowing saliva. So
I'm going to have to not say a word right now because there's so many directions.
I know.
Yeah,
it's hard to
going in. I'm like, let's reel back in, ladies. Let's scroll.
There's no getting it back. There's no getting it back. Sorry.
Sorry.
All I can say is when you flush the toilet, you need to close the lid. Do not flush the toilet with the lid open.
I wasn't even going to go toilet anything, and there Amelia goes.
You started talking about spores and things in the air.
And so, to change topics, so we are happy to celebrate our Women's History Month. And to kick it off, we have an amazing advocate and veteran, and I'll let Amelia introduce her.
Awesome sauce, y'all. So tonight we have a very special guest. I'm very excited to have her here. She is a fellow veteran. She's an Army veteran and a former Medical Service Corps officer. She served active duty and deployed to Afghanistan with the 101st Air Assault Airborne Division. So if you don't know she's a bad A woman, she is, and it shows through all that she does and the ways in which she continues to show up in the community. And as you can see, she's got her VFW, repping the VFW tonight because she does serve for the VFW Texas District 20 as the adjutant and women veteran chairperson within our district, which serves Bexar County, Atascosa, and Wilson County. So Ann, I would love to turn it over to you and just introduce yourself to us a little bit more, share a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so first off I'm actually an immigrant to begin with. I'm from Mexico originally, and then I moved to the US at a young age. Went to school, did pretty good. I went all the way to Pennsylvania to go for my undergrad. And from there I actually commissioned because I really wanted to serve this country that's given me so much as an immigrant and as a female immigrant. And I think it was the best decision I could have made. Let's see, what else y'all want to know? Well, she pretty much said everything. And I met Amelia a couple of years ago at a leadership training through another nonprofit. And that's kind of where we met, and we've been kind of inseparable ever since. Once I transitioned out of the military, as a lot of us face just like unknowing, even like our identity as women, as veterans, and even as moms, right? Like needing to know what's their next step. I found myself in that same situation, transitioning out in 2008, 17. And I thought the best thing was I already had a master's degree in psychology. Why not go into my doctorate? And I got accepted, which made it a lot easier to make that transition. So I came back to San Antonio, where I grew up, and I started my doctorate. Little, so I'm a doctorate candidate. Didn't do my internship yet, but I found a really good place where I feel I'm needed. I can do a lot of advocacy and really like do a lot of like regain purpose and a lot of just like the why, my why. I think I have found it here at the VFW and with women veterans advocacy.
Mm.
What's been your biggest challenge so far as a woman veteran at the VFW?
Yeah, so I mean, it is demographically speaking, it is, for Vietnam vets I identify a lot with the VFW, and just like with that, right, age gap and age brackets that I'm speaking about is males generally over 50 or 60 years old, and them seeing me as then I was like 35, right? Like 35-year-old coming in, Latina, like saying, I want to be in your, like I want to be part of the team and I want to help out. And I also want to do QR codes and things like that. Oh, and by the way, we have emails. So a lot of that has been a challenge, but also like learning how to communicate with those generational gaps with my comrades, call each other comrades. So talking to them about that has been challenging. Also like visibility and like them knowing what I can bring to the table, putting aside those, like I don't want to say like prejudice, but it's like how can you say that? Biases there. So like putting behind our biases and saying, hey, I'm here to work and like make it a better place for us. Sometimes like people don't immediately see a woman veteran Latina like me as a VFW member, so just even that identification, it's big. On top of that, as you know, and may not know, but VFW is for women or service members that actually went to combat. So combat veterans, that adds a different layer, right, to the VFW persona, I guess you could say. But as we know, probably from service and things like that, sometimes as women veterans and just women in general in the work field, we have to work sometimes harder to be able to be recognized, to recognize our efforts, to recognize our expertise. So that is not different because I have had to do that most of my life, but it is still a challenge that you have to see. Now, 5 years later, after joining the BFW and stuff like that, I have found wonderful support. Age doesn't matter at this point. I am there because I feel comfortable, I feel respected, and I feel like a part of the team. So at the beginning, it was difficult. Right now, I feel I'm thriving at the BFW.
Excellent.
And sis, so why is it important to support your local VFW, especially as a woman veteran?
Well, like that's something that I've had to come to like to a soul searching. Like I'm like, why the VFW not? We have so many wonderful nonprofit orgs, especially like in Texas here. Like Texas is military veteran, right? Veteran nation, I call it. And seeing like more niche nonprofits that I could be part of their team, or I could somehow be a volunteer, or eventually, be a staff there. But like I was like, well, why the BFW? Like, Ann, why do you want to be in the BFW versus other places where it's really makes you feel, I would say, more comfortable, but I feel I'm more identified, right? Women, veteran, nonprofit organizations. And for me, it was the big part of the advocacy that they do, especially like when we go to Congress, we are trying to pass some bills. I mean, as recently, like today, right? Like our commander, like she was like the first woman to make history and like actually deliver like the legislative priorities in the Congress. So those are like big kick-ass, like, monumental things for us as women veterans. So definitely that legislative part that BFW brings. Not only that, but also I know like most of us like in the community is a bar, right? Or some type of like hall rental or something like that. Yet that bar is gonna get that veteran into the door. And there they will find a battle buddy, or you can get to talk to some people, right? The big hurdle that I'm facing is that a lot of us women veterans are not going and stepping into the BFWs because of the current, like bias or preconceptions of like, no, it's going to be older veteran males that are in there. So, and that's kind of one of my personal goals, to kind of like lower that stigma, say, hey, there's people like me in there. And also there is the auxiliary, right? Who are the spouses of the veterans, and some veterans that were not combat veterans that joined the auxiliary. So there are people like us, like me, and we are there to support women veterans as well. Let's see, what else can I say?
Well,
I mean, as our motto says, we do more than anybody else for veterans. And I really do believe, because all of our profits go back to our communities. Even like the commander, like the post commander, he is he is a business owner, of like a manager of a post, manager of a nonprofit, manager of a hall rental and a bar, right? If they have a bar that is open. All of this is volunteer based. They are not getting a paycheck. None of us are getting a paycheck.
right.
But obviously there is that altruistic value that nobody can really repay monetarily. So that's why I speak value on that. There's 20, at least here in District 20, we have 19 posts all across San Antonio, Bexar County, Wilson County, and Scotia County. We are out there in the Strawberry Festival. We are out there at Post, East Side, West Side. Anywhere you go, we are tapping into those communities that sometimes we wouldn't be there. That's why.
Wow. What a powerful reminder, especially during the month that we're in, right? This month is Women's History Month. And I know that I sit in company that has very similar views on this. I think that it is amazing and very imperative that we continue to bring to the forefront what every single woman in our military, how they have shaped our service, how they continue to give, and how we continue to support our country through our service. And so with that, I would like to ask you, I know I heard something about this event coming up, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. It is the Rosie the Riveter Commemoration event on March 21st. What inspired you to put this together? Tell us about that.
Yes. Okay, so here we are at the drawing board, right, with our commander, the district commander, and he's also the Helotes VFW commander currently. So I was like, I need to do more as the woman veteran chair for the district. I always kind of showed up. I did some partnership and things like that across other nonprofits that are women veteran specific. And I saw that we had an event that the Helotes VFW hosted on January 31st. And there was about 300 women veterans that showed up and showed up, showed up and showed out. And it was very inspiring, because I was like, well, you know what? We are hosting it here at the BFW in Helotes. There's all these wonderful women that are getting together, the empowerment and the movement that we are creating as far as relationships, cross training, cross referencing, cross the resources that we can all provide. And really, like, you never know who you're like really touching at those events, right? It may be that woman that was like, I mean, I don't know, but personally speaking, I have felt like I am alone, even though I know so many people. I have 200 people across, but I feel alone. So I thought about that event, and I was like, you can do you can do more, Anne. And that's what made me think about it. So obviously, in spirit of Women's History Month, And also with the, with like our push as Texas, but also as the VFW in general, we're prioritizing women veterans to enter because, as we all know, we are up and rising in the demographics of who is a woman veteran and also who is a combat woman veteran. So for us, it's also like making them part of our demographics, I guess, recruitment purposes as well. And now they're paying attention. So now it's important for us to host not only the women veterans, but also their families that come with male or female veterans, whoever that is. So I told my just the leadership team, I was like, you know what? I want to do a Rosie the Riveter first annual event. And then I looked up like when it was. So March 21st, I was like, yes, we're doing this March 21st. I actually met with the commander's wife, was spouse. So she's an auxiliary member. She's a huge leader also in the auxiliary here for District 20. And she's like, well, I can do the painting because I am an actual artist. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect because it taps on well-being. I personally like painting with a twist, so why not do it? So I pretty much put everything together that I like doing at the VFW and also painting and like, like uplifting women veterans' voices. So that's how Rosie the River commemoration event came about. Mhm. Yeah.
Some things never change though, right? Like the
Yeah.
patriot, like every woman, no matter where or how she served, was a volunteer. None of us was a draftee.
I love that.
But I'm sure though that in your talking to other women, the older generations, particularly the World War II types, what were the similarities in some of the things we still face today as women in the military?
I love that question, Pacifica, because what was it? Like 2 years ago, I was thinking about what do I do as a chairwoman? By the way, I didn't get any real guidance. It was like, you are the one that's supposed to consult and guide us on how to bring, like, do programming for women veterans. I was like, no budget. I don't even know many people here. Like, what do I do? So I actually just, I mean, no budget, remember. So I did a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, literally. I sent an email out to all the post commanders. I said, post commanders, send me a biography of all your women veterans in your post that would want to be a spotlight. And I did a PowerPoint. And I mean, the stories I got, Pacifica, like it was like we have some intel ladies, we have a helicopter nurse pilot. These are like incredible women all across warfares. And I was like, Miss So and so, remember age gap and all that, right? So we're thinking about 60-year-old. I'm thinking grandma, and she like served in monumental ways. So that's what it is. It's like a lot of these women that I am encountering in the VFW, that are ones that are the quiet, and they're like they're aging women or gracefully aging women, right? But they have been trailblazers for us and for women veterans to come. I cannot imagine how many women, because as men talk, right? We women veterans gravitate towards each other. We also talk. And she tells me, yeah, I was the first one to go do this and that. And I was like, you did what, Miss So and so? And it's just amazing. So the stories are amazing because they also, not only that, I have noticed that they just walk in a sense of humility. So there's a lot of humility in the service, as you do as well, Pacifica. Not to like throw flowers at you, but you're a very humble woman, and like you've done some manner stuff as well.
Thank
So
you.
that demeanor of like, no, I'm here at the BFW volunteering, serving, cleaning up after our fried fish fundraiser, just some really just non um high roller kind of things, right? But they know who they are. I think their identity is super solidified. I don't think that they are the kind of people that they have to show and boast of who they are, because obviously they know who they are. and people that know their story knows what remarkable movements they've done in their life.
And thank God they didn't quit. You know.
Yes.
Like May always says. I actually wanted to ask you ladies a military question about military history for ladies. What is the fastest a crew of women have built an aircraft? What do you think the record is? I just found this out from the Pacific Historic Parks. They told me. That's how I found out when I was helping May for her podcast.
I'm going to say hours, but I don't know if you're assuming like engineering and pneumatics and everything like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a full build, like
the full front to end.
86 minutes.
That's it.
86 minutes.
Yeah, it was a common.
What was the model of the aircraft?
I want to say it was an A10. I have to double check.
Okay, because that makes a
A
difference.
Warthog?
Yeah.
No way.
But no, what's interesting is that there's so many different stories. Like I was just hearing recently from another historian about Captain Tibbets when they were working on the Enola Gay to make it light enough to fly for the historic nuclear bombing run that they were going on. But what was interesting about it is what they kept doing is they kept setting the engine on fire when they would do test runs. And they couldn't figure out why. And they ended up getting some wasps came out and they were like under like total secrecy. And they found out that the men were gunning the gas too hard. And it was a crew of women, all women, that found an issue that they absolutely could not figure out. And they like basically classified it for many years. But it's very interesting with her story, how much is really not put in the pages and should.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
And so I know that we were talking about your upcoming event on the 21st, and I wanted to circle back on it a little bit. So I know you had talked about enrolling in, like, so how were we to sign up? Like if we were wanting to attend the event, how do we sign up?
So there is a QR code that is coming out, but even if you go to Eventbrite, that's the platform that I'm using. Probably search Rosie the Riveter Commemoration event. It will come up. Also, we are having, and I'm very excited. It doesn't sound because I'm very, flat, but Josie Garcia, our Texas State Representative, has actually accepted for her to be our speaker. So even if you look up, yes, I'm very excited and congratulations to her because she just won. Actually, well, yesterday was, the voting.
The elections.
The elections, yeah. So she'll be our guest speaker. Very excited, very grateful that she said yes, and we can fit us into her schedule. I'm pretty sure. So probably even search Josie Garcia upcoming event or something. It will pop up because I already put in all her info in there for our event. And really, ultimately, I want all the guests that come, all the women veterans, to find that Rosie in them. Because that's really how it also came up. I wanted to, it's an empowerment movement. It's like I said, getting to know each other, but it's really that, what's your calling and finding the Rosie that lives inside you.
I like that.
Absolutely. And I can tell you that every Rosie has a totally different story. So I very much like that. Like the Black Rosies may tell you a different story than the Latina Rosies or the White Rosies. Yeah. And, everyone had totally different jobs. And what's funny is that the common Rosie the Riveter image is actually something similar to what women that worked on ships would have worn. It actually wouldn't have been at all like what they would have worn working with aircraft. Mm-hmm. But, they wore what they had. That's what May would always say. It was the Depression. We wore what we had. And I was like, they didn't just issue those to you. Some plants did, some factories did when it became popular, but it wasn't something that was commonly done just because of the fact that you wore what you had. But it was important you wore it though, because you'd rip your hair out otherwise.
Right.
That's what I was told. But we're definitely looking forward to coming out there. I know We will have May's book available as well. We can do it, and we're going to have signed and unsigned copies as well. And we're also she did also send some bandanas and other things. So we're going to have a fun Rosie table there. And so hopefully we can raise money for the Women's World War II Memorial Foundation. So we can help Raya on her journey to raise, was it $14 million? Wow. Imagine like when you were like 20 and you had to raise like $2,000. That was a lot of money. 14 million. That's
And I don't know if you want me to talk about like for the mingle hour that we're gonna have, like who's gonna be there. Is it something you want me to bring in? Yeah. Okay. So as of now, I have been able to confirm, right, with like Circle of Arms is gonna be there, Combined Arms, Friendship is the New Pretty too. Hero Hut is gonna be there for a little bit. Hopefully, I'm trying to get our Bexar County clerk, Lucy Adame, Clark, to actually be there. Pink Berets is going to be there. Salute 65. She served 2 podcasts as well. You probably know them. Texas Veteran Commission, the Sentinels Collective, the Women Veterans Calendar, Thousand Branches Wellness, Women, obviously, let me see, Women Veterans of San Antonio, and who else? That's it.
And that's it.
Huge amount of collaboration, Ann, and I salute you because that is so amazing to be able to pull so many different organizations together to support this unity that is so important across our community.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's like herding cats. So for her to get so many cats in one room, I'm impressed. Like, teach me your ways.
Well done, man. This is it's going to be a great event.
I'll say, like, I do not take all the glory. It is literally the people behind me, the people I am the face of the program. There is a lot of people like you, Brandy, Amelia, Pacifica, that are behind it also. Like my team at the VFW District 20 have like really all hands on. Even Texas VFW, I called in some people. They're like, what do you need? They're actually bringing in some membership. They are like the membership committee. So they're bringing some membership team down from Texas VFW because, I mean, they care and they know that we need to come into the VFW arenas, just like, just like our commander did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, speaking of that and kind of going back to VFW, share with me, I know that there's a lot of misconceptions out there about the VFW. I'm guilty of having some that I've learned about over the years. And so what are some of those common misconceptions that are held about the VFW?
Yeah. Well, I mean, some obviously misconceptions. I am not oblivious to why they're coming up, right? So let's be honest, right? Like, it's like sometimes those things do matter. I think the VFW is what you make out of it. I think that there is enough people that are there that if you feel some type of way, you can talk to somebody and there will be an ally there at that post. I can guarantee that because I have experienced it. Some other people have experienced it. I may be your ally, maybe I'm not there present, but I will hear it and people will know about it. So some of the and that's what I don't want to call them misperceptions, right? But some of the things that traditionally people think about, it is a bar. We are promoting drinking and maybe even like bad habits, right? Like drinking is we haven't really we have shifted from like drinking as a coping mechanism to like, no, that's not a wellness behavior to do.
Right.
And let's see, older people, like I said, Vietnam vets, Desert Storm, kind of that era, like more the older crowd, veterans. That's, I think, the misconceptions that we have, that it is very like the good old boy system. So some of them, yes, like I said, like, yeah. But I think it's like, as a woman veteran, when have we not stepped into a good old boy system? It's kind of one of those that it's like, it's one of those that I can't really say. But The difference is like the good old system allows you and say, oh, there's something to that I can learn
Mhm.
even from 70-year-olds. I'm teaching my buddy. I mean, I don't want to drop names, but some
Mhm.
comrades how to use a QR code so they can buy a VFW T-shirt through our online store that we just developed. Things like that. They're open to that. And now there are some people that are not, right? I'm not gonna just not tell you straight how it is. But like I said, there will always be an ally at those posts that we are increasingly seeing newer generation of veterans, like Desert Storm or VFYF, um, are coming along
Mhm.
and they served along women and they respect our service from what I have experienced. And I'm not having any trouble with them in being able to collaborate to make VFW a better place for us.
Okay.
Mhm.
How can we support the VFW in our
Well,
neighborhood?
yes, Pacifica. So obviously, like the textbook answer is,
Go
membership,
join.
like join
Yeah.
your closest membership. But I wouldn't do that. I would really encourage you to just go to your closest VFW and then go twice probably. Because the first time I mean, just like every veteran's like, who the hell is this person? Why is she here? Or who is she?
Just
Now there may be
recognize.
that one person that is gonna be like, oh, hey, who did you serve with or stuff? But go to like the karaoke night. There's always events. Go those days. Go the day that they're gonna have something. Okay,
Mhm.
plug in, try it out. That's really what I'm asking you. Just to try it out. Go to that with your girlfriend or your besties or whoever. Go with them to their karaoke nights because I'm pretty sure there is a karaoke night at your nearest VFW at some point. Try it out. Try it twice because sometimes, and I'm personally speaking from experience. I have tried places and I don't like it the first time, and that's it. I don't give it another chance, and that's like I'm not going back to that place. Sometimes we miss the mark, right? I can't say that we won't, but if you can, like I would encourage you. And if you have, people that are hearing this also, if you have ever gone to a VFW and they have missed the mark, try it out again, especially when they do like karaoke night or something like that. Hmm?
Do you want to hear me sing some karaoke?
Girl, I sing karaoke and I am not a good singer. My boyfriend is like, he gets nervous for me because he's like, how are you getting up there and singing? Like you can't even sing.
Confidence.
Hey, I'm not singing. This is about me just having fun. So yes, Pacifica, I want to hear you sing, especially if you come on May 21st to the event. There's an after
Okay.
party there.
All right.
Nice.
I'll learn some Madonna, so it'll be a show.
My guest, yeah.
All I keep thinking about when you said to come to the VFW twice was they got me when we were filming for Sandy June Rolling Strong with Wheelchairs for Warriors. And we went in there when I first went in, and of course, a Marine brother caught me. I could tell by the smirk. And he's like, "Oh, there's a mannequin at the bar, and if you go in and you give her a kiss, you get a beer." And I'm like, the veteran, and he's like, "Oh, a free beer, okay." Yeah, it wasn't like a normal kind of mannequin. And I had to come back in, and then we had to like secure her across 5 chairs so we could shoot in there. So the second time, it was pretty funny to like not laugh at her. I had to like film right next to her, and I'm trying to like look at her, but I had to give her some life advice. So second time, they have pictures of it and everything.
No, and you're right. Like in a serious note, perhaps, right? Like the Texas VFW is strongly trying to, and we are taking it very personal and very serious, like eliminating sexual assault and harassment in the military, but also across posts. Like that's something that we don't have no tolerance. However, obviously it happens, and sometimes we are
Very much.
re-victimized in some of these places.
Yep.
So that's something
but I understand absolutely.
We are trying hard, like really, like anybody that is in the leadership position, and if you ever feel some kind of way, report. I mean, really, it's a reporting system. Like there's no place for us to have that at the VFW because we're really serious about changing that climate, or maybe that's why I said try it twice and experiencing stuff like that. Even like little things that I even go to post and I'm like, "Oh, that doesn't look right." And also, very, very awesome news. Also, we have five, if I'm not mistaken, five or four commanders who are female veterans currently running
Women in
VFW.
office.
Awesome.
I'm here.
Yep.
Exactly. So that makes a difference. I'm not just telling you and, sounding like a campaigner here because I'm actually campaigning for being a junior vice at the district.
I mean,
But it's really
it's
happening.
practice.
Like women veterans are stepping up and they are showing up,
Right.
and we are becoming post commanders, and they are getting elected because remember, this is a vote that the memberships are saying, yes, I'm voting for you to run our post. And that speaks volumes, I think.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I believe it is now time for our knowledge.
So, coming to you hot. Here's a knowledge drop for you from the VA. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but so the other day I was at the VA, random appointment, right? And I'm in the elevator and somebody recognizes, of course, not me. No, not me, Dexter. And they recognized Dexter from a time where we had went out and shot with one of the organizations and did some, bow and arrow hunt or shooting. And so they're like, oh, I know you from the range, from the arrow range or whatnot. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, actually, what do you mean, today or before? And she was like, oh, before. I was like, oh, you mean okay. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, actually, it's crazy that you say that because that's where I'm going today here at the VA is to go shoot some archery. And she's like, what? The VA has archery? Yes, they do. Let me tell you how to get to it and what it's about. So through the whole health program, they have access to what is called recreational therapy. So what I was able to do, I have some issues that have come about with my hand and whatnot that we're still dealing with and some structural items. And so with that, they were actually able to help me with a trigger pull, which allowed me to not have so much tension where I'm not able to withstand it on my hand. But because I am a lefty and I'm a left-handed shooter, the left hand has to be that pull for me. And so it was really neat to be able to go to really get some very good key instruction, very like amazing one-on-one time. And then I walked out of it with not only, a lot more knowledge, a lot more understanding of where I can touch base, but also an entire list of resources of where, and my notes that are on it, but an entire list of resources of where I can actually go shoot within the community for archery and where they accept and things of that nature. And so I know that a lot of times, and again, that's why this knowledge drop for me is so important, is to get the information out there. I know that sometimes the VA is hard and sometimes it's difficult to navigate, but together and being able to utilize the information and knowledge of what's out there and available to us, I think is key. And so please, if you're interested in that, reach out to us, reach out to your VA, reach out to your whole health department, ask about their recreational therapy, find out about it. If you get an answer from one person, I love what Ann mentioned. Try it twice. Don't just wait for one person to give you an answer. Go to a few different people, ask around and see what responses you get, because I bet you one person knows something the other person doesn't. And so that is your knowledge drop for the VA today.
Nice. We appreciate you, Miss Amelia. Always coming up with different facts that I didn't know. And I've definitely been sleeping on the wellness, like the whole veteran.
Whole health.
Whole health.
Yes,
like, I think whole foods, that's wrong.
Whole health is, they have done a lot.
Whole health, yeah.
Programs. Yeah, whole health for sure.
I know we're recording, but I didn't clip it. I'm actually doing Tai Chi through Whole Health.
Yes.
And it's Tai Chi with a fan. And trust me, I'm getting at that point where our instructor, right? Miss Tomako, she's like, well, do y'all want to be part of the performance veteran group? And I'm like, what? So yes, she has a veteran performance group, and I'll send you the link so you can share it with your
Yay.
listeners because they actually performed at the Asian Festival this past like 2 weeks ago. So
That's
I'm like,
cool.
what? But I mean, it's also another thing on my plate. But I love it. It's I mean, Tai Chi, it's wellness and stuff. It awesome.
Yep.
I think it's really important. I mean, I think that we as veterans, we tend to miss that sense of purpose. And, you know, having these little things, even if it's something that we look at as small, it really can be impactful and from a mental health perspective.
Yeah.
And with that, we are actually at final thoughts. So, Miss Amelia, did you want to start with our final thoughts?
Sure. I am so looking forward to the upcoming event on March 21st. Please make sure you register, stand up, show up. Let's get out there and have a great time. There's going to be a lot of activities going on, a lot of great times with other women veterans and connections to be made. So please come out and support that event. Let's have a great time. And thank you again, Ann, for everything you do in our community. And thank you for spending some time with us to get the word out about what you do and why it's so important to be connected and be a part of your community.
Yeah, the human connection part, I think, is the most important. You know, we kind of take that for granted or don't realize how important it is until you don't have it every day or all the time, you know. And I think the VFW is a good place where you can relive some of that, the goodness, and spend some time with real people. So thank you for coming on tonight. Well, we enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And what are your final thoughts for tonight?
Yeah, so mainly advocacy, right? So continue supporting that Major Richard Star Act. We're trying to get where disabled veterans are able to receive their full military retirement pay and VA disability compensation without offset. And also, like, your mental health and your well-being is too important to not make it a priority. That's really it. And I'll add, like, you know, I personally invite you to the Rosie the Riveter Commemoration event that we're having May 21st. We're gonna have door prizes. And please dress up as the Rosie that you are, the best dressed contestant. We're gonna have a live contest there, and the best dressed Rosie will receive a very, very awesome gift. There's going to be door prizes, and we're going to have a lot of fun painting and making everlasting memories together.
Heck yeah. And I think this is an amazing event. I mean, I love it that it's on National Rosie the Riveter Day. It's my favorite Rosie's 100th birthday. So that makes me excited. So I'm just happy to help our sisters that came before us. And May says many times that we held the door and you ladies kept going. You know, and she considers, you know, us as like the next generation Rosies, you know, and they like to look at, you know, what it is women are doing now. And, you know, being your own best advocate is more important now than ever, especially as a woman. So I guess that would be my final thoughts for today. And be kind to each other. It's crazy world out there. Be kind to each other. But all right, guys. Well, we will go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. But thanks for watching. And we are Yes, I Am the Veteran. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aurelia. Just a reminder, smash like, hit subscribe, and click the bell.